Okay. We are live-ish.
Ish?
Yeah, I think we're live.
Then we're...
I think we're here.
My gosh, I don't even know what this is. What are you starting, David?
Welcome, everybody, to the most special episode of LangTime Studio, episode 724 on July 24th. I prepared something very special for everybody today. So hopefully this shows up on the screen fully.
This is what's happening.
Yeah. Hold on a sec. I'm waiting to see.
This is how to... Oh, what happened here?
You're so delayed.
I don't understand why...
Okay, wow, no, it's off center. That's even better. Okay, I love it. All right, welcome to 724. This is a very special day, and so for that, I wanted to give everybody some 724 facts.
Okay.
All right, so first of all,
Ooh.
yeah, 7 is the only number that divides evenly into 24. Isn't that wild? All right. Fact number 2. Originally, there were 24 days in each month, but on the 24th of July, 1774, they added 7 days to each month, so now there are 31 days in each month. Did you know that?
This is a bunch of fake news right here.
24, the original Baskin-Robbins scoop shots had exactly 7 flavors.
No.
Before they were required by law to increase to 31 flavors, they had to add 24 more.
Obviously.
Yeah. They were, back then they were called the 7 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. And finally, we have, LangTime Studio has 7 patrons who sleep 24 hours a day.
Okay.
Yeah. So there we are. Happy 724, everybody. I just wanted to be sure that, we celebrated in style. And so there you have it.
I was actually
No, I don't
looking
want to say that.
forward to some real 724 facts. And now all I get is fake. It's Bubba, don't worry. Let all of them leave your mind like water flowing to the next waterfall to be dumped.
Water
Overboard.
Next waterfall to be dumped. All right. So then.
Yeah, exactly. Says the languageist. Even David knows it's dribble. Don't want to save that.
All right. Let me. Oh dear. Give me just a minute with the poll.
Jonathan says that list of facts is the new translation challenge. David.
Oh, holy smoke.
7. Well,
Okay, no, we're fine.
David's holy
We're fine.
smoking it over there. Yeah, 724 means one thing and one thing only. That it is a lucky day. It is the sort of golden live stream, I guess. Like, when you turn your age on the same day as the birthday, it's like a golden birthday. So it's like season 7 episode 24. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
They coincided.
Okay. Let's. Okay, now it's not centered. Let's move it over just a little bit. We can discuss the poll.
Okay. Like, they were all good options, right?
Yeah.
Oh. So, in other words, the one that I was hoping for didn't win, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were discussing relative clause strategies. Oh, that's backwards. The microphone is facing out that way.
I thought we had it facing this way.
No, this is assuming that we're sitting over there.
Are we quiet?
There we go.
I know, this is why you shouldn't let me set up.
No, we're fine. Nothing else is wrong. Nobody's social security numbers are showing.
Anywho.
Yeah. True story, though. One of our social security numbers begins with 724.
Guess I know whose that is.
Oh, my. All right. So we were deciding on relative clause strategies. We had 3 for you to consider, 2 of which were similar. The first was, I think, a pretty standard relative clause strategy. Often relative clauses will have some sort of a gap, and there will be a cutoff point at which there is no gap. So like in English, you have to start really stacking things in the relative clause before it becomes licit. So the woman that I saw her, no good. The woman whose house I was meaning to stop at before I saw her is okay.
But the her in that one
No.
isn't doing the relative pronoun work because whose is doing the relative pronoun work, which means
No, it's not. It's not about it doing the work. It's about it being okay for the thing to be reintroduced. And there's a certain level of embedding where it's okay to reintroduce it in English because it just gets too confusing to leave the gap. And so, like, the woman whose house I wanted to visit before I saw, that's a little odd.
But at that point, it's I saw the house is what you're assuming. You would never assume the woman because, again, you've already introduced the whose house. And we can only actually gap in relative clauses if it's the object of something. Otherwise, we can't gap.
She's the object.
No, whose it's a possessive, and
Whose
so
house
that
I
can't
wanted
be.
to see before I saw her.
Whose is the relativizer, so it is not gapped. It's there. It's present. The woman I saw, gap. No relativizer. No relative pronoun.
There's a relative pronoun. The woman whom I saw.
The woman I saw.
No, the woman whom I saw.
I'm saying the woman I saw with a gap. You're saying the woman whom I saw with no gap.
Both of them have a gap.
No, who is not a gap. It's there.
No.
It's fronted.
It
is not gapped.
That's not what a gap is.
We will let David be wrong.
I think that we should pause the stream and have a little discussion about this because that's not what a gap is. The gap is in the embedded clause.
It's fronted, which means it's there and it's represented, whereas in languages that allow a gap, there's straight up nothing representing the thing, like the woman I saw. We do allow gapped structures. The gapped relative clause structure means it's not present in the clause. Not fronted, not present. Okay, we need...
At least that's not how the terminology works in syntax.
It's how it works in most of what I've read. And so...
Look, I don't want to misinform people, so...
You deserve an explanation. What's happening? Is Wikipedia going public? Are they going to do ad support?
Here we go. The person that I saw yesterday went home. That is a gap that's left in the object position after saw.
Okay, let's look up. Relative clauses on a linguistic website. That's an order. We'll do relationship as well. Let's see.
English is unusual in that all roles in the embedded clause can be indicated by gapping, and the example relative pronoun that uses who, not that. So for example, I saw the person who I run slower than. There is still a gap. It's after than.
It's fronted. There's a difference then from fronting to an actual dropping and gapping.
That's not what the gap refers to. The gap refers to the place that the thing was moved from. English is unusual in that you can also drop.
Then how do you differentiate between languages that always have the gap drop situation versus the it's fronted? They call them fronted for a reason. Because it's fronted, which means it's out of place, which of course there's a gap. Our questions are gapped. Everything's gapped in that case.
The problem is that with a language like Arabic, you could say the man whom I saw him. There's no
I
gap.
feel like calling that a gap situation is effectively saying transformative grammar is the way to go. Because
Okay, but
because underlyingly there's a gap, or you could say the construction is the relative pronoun occurs at front of the clause construction, no gap because it occurs at the front, hence fronting, versus languages that literally have nothing to represent the noun being modified in the clause structure.
well, I mean, the terminology does come from transformational grammar. It's not necessarily, but like essentially the difference is supposed to be between the man whom I saw and the man whom I saw him, where the second is what you have to do in Arabic.
With a resumptive pronoun.
That is one way of putting it, yes. Or, yeah. But it also, you just say it has no gap. And Jake, you're not wrong. You're not wrong in that the gap is essentially like a zero morpheme. Yes. It's in syntax it's called a trace. A trace is left where the gap is after the transformation is applied. Anyway, but that's where the terminology comes from. English is unusual in that it can have a relativizer that simply isn't vocalized. So like the man I saw versus the man that I saw. But in the case of English, it really is like the relativizer simply isn't being vocalized, as opposed to languages where there's never been any kind of relative pronoun or relativizing particle, in which case you would just say that nothing is there.
Well, tell us who won the poll so we can move forward.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Dino did. Okay. Oh yeah. If only this had been last year. Okay. So in A, the resumptive pronouns are required for all relative clauses, even when the embedded target of realization is a subject. In that one, well, I guess there's, because Arabic is the closest example to something like this, but I don't think that there's any way to...
I found it.
I don't think there's any way to tell in Arabic, because you generally don't include subject pronouns, and verbs automatically agree with the subject and are pretty aggressive in that agreement. So it's hard to say if there is a resumptive like pronoun in the subject position. It's kind of neutral. Anyway, so that was option one. Option two was this peculiar one that we identified last time, where essentially there's a relative particle, there is a gap in the relative clause, and then following that is a resumptive pronoun that actually agrees not with the role of the pronoun in the embedded clause, but with the role of the pronoun of the role of the thing in the matrix clause. So that was pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen this relative clause strategy before, and that was pretty interesting. And then the other one was just doing a relative pronoun, pretty standard. And so based on my initial reaction, you probably guessed that the one that I devoted the most attention to didn't win. So 2 was in last place, 1B was in second place, and the winner was 1A with the resumptive pronoun always there. So let's take a look at this link.
There. So English is a relative pronoun strategy. Arabic would be a pronoun retention strategy. A gapped strategy for relative clauses is demonstrated by Turkish and Karache Balker, where there is no case-marked reference to the head noun within the relative clause. It's simply not there.
Hold on a sec. Oh yeah, this is the book buying student in Turkish. It's like a way of, it's the student who bought the book, but it's a way to kind of like think about it as an English speaker. Specifically the book buying student, so it's not quite, it's really good that they used the accusative here. The accusative is definite in Turkish, because the implication with the book buying student in English is that it's just a student that buys books willy-nilly, but this is really much more the student who bought the specific book, which isn't implied, by the way, the English rephrasing. Strategy involves cases where there is no overt case mark reference to the head noun within the relative clause.
And that is different from the pronoun retention strategy that you find in Arabic, but also in Babungo and Maibrad.
The gap clause structure may be only one manifestation of a single formal means for marking not only what translates English relative clauses, but also a number of other clause types. But the... Oh, this is a different language.
Yeah.
This isn't Turkish. Student who bought the book. Book that the student bought.
It definitely is Matisse, and it's unfortunate that the same term gets used not only by different linguists in different theories differently, but then by the same linguists to refer to different phenomena in different clauses, but the same term is used, but they mean different things.
So in German, you call that, German is a relative pronoun strategy, so the article there is a pronoun? Wow.
Der is the relative nominative pronoun, yeah.
The two boy musicians whom Cyrano sent. Wow. Ghulam Ani. I don't know that. Musiqi Ani. Illadhani. Where's the rest of it?
What do you mean?
Well, they're just showing the actual clause part because they're saying Arabic is different from German
Yeah.
because in German the relative pronoun matches the case of the head noun, whereas in Arabic that doesn't happen. It
Yeah.
matches the case that it is in the clause structure.
Oh, another classic linguistic example. The man who beat me yesterday is asleep.
Other awful examples, yes.
Now this one makes more sense. The boy that stole the chicken ran away, because if you've got a chicken, what
You're
else do
gonna
you
run.
need in life?
Yeah.
You've got the chicken.
This is 122, I believe.
It's
Yeah, 122.
122A?
No, I think 123 is the next one. Like it's a 2-chapter thing, and there is an introduction to chapters 122 and 123. But the one we're looking at right now is 122, and it is by Comrie and Kuteva. Yeah, exactly, Jake.
Oh, wow.
You're right, Mateus. Next time I see a linguistic sentence like that, I'm going to interpret it that way and then be like, it was a good thing for the person.
Actually, the funny thing was, like, the first thing I thought was beat me at chess.
Oh, that's better too.
Yeah.
Right, Magpie, I also like that. Beat me in a cooking contest. Yes.
Yeah. But of course, that's only because of the ambiguity in the English term, isn't it?
Yeah.
If they meant that, a better translation would be defeat.
It would be.
Yeah.
But
All right.
alas.
Okay, so that's our relative cross strategy, which is nice because it's easy. All right. What can we do to get things back on track?
Oh, I proved my point. I'm happy. I was right.
You were?
Did you not read that?
I did.
There's no mention. There's no reference to the head noun being modified in a gapped relative clause structure.
I guess that there's just, two different uses of the term. And I was unfamiliar with the usage that you showed.
Okay.
And you are unfamiliar with my usage?
In transformational grammar or analyses of English, yes.
Uh-huh.
In analyses of typological relative clause structures, I've seen it used the way that Comrie uses it, where it refers very specifically to this thing where it's like in relative clauses, you say a gapped structure, what you mean is there's zero reference to the noun being modified. And like that's how I see it being used typologically. Now, if all we want to do is discuss English grammar, then we can talk about that.
Incidentally, despite the fact that I went to Berkeley, my history of syntax was 100% transformational.
At Berkeley?
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Boy, that is just sad.
It's a whole thing. In fact, the professor that I had for syntax was let go. He didn't want to leave, and he was basically forced out for nominally not doing a book, but mainly because he wasn't transformational enough.
At Berkeley?
For them to feel like they were competitive in syntax, yeah.
At Berkeley, the university that produced more construction grammar
and
people than like I think any other one school.
I was there on his last day ever as a professor at Berkeley. Honestly, he came to tears. It was tough.
Wow.
Then they brought in a hardline Chomskyan syntactician after that, who was only there for like a few years. And then in graduate school at UCSD, it was 2 semesters of transformational grammar.
I am
2 quarters, excuse me.
so happy I didn't go to a coast, I guess.
Yeah, I had The only exposure I had to anything else was honestly Doug Ball's PhD thesis, which I proofread, which was HBSG.
Whereas, like, my entire graduate exposure and, like, my focus was syntax and semantics, and so I had quite a few syntax courses, and it was all... the only optionality theory course I took was in phonology, not anything to do with syntax. But it was all like optimality, not optionality. Yep. Optimality, just change out my O words. But it was all construction grammar based from like reading, Adele Goldberg's works, Ivan Sog's works, and lexical functional grammar, cognitive grammar, HPSG, so like role and reference grammar, which is construction based, and so it's just like, and all of those people came out of California.
Yeah.
Was it because they learned transformational grammar, or like, no way, we're starting something new?
Pretty much. And
literally all those people, I think, were educated in California.
I mean, and outside of Stanford, you'll notice that all of those people would have gone to places like Berkeley and then aren't there anymore, or aren't in linguistics there anymore. And that's true. So like the
I
Lakoffs...
thought that was because Berkeley is one of the universities who does not like to hire its own people. A lot of universities, by the way, are like that. They don't want to hire someone who is educated at their university. They want to bring in fresh blood, so to speak.
Oh, as far as I understood, they just didn't want to be in the linguistics department anymore. So that's why the Lakoffs were not in linguistics. They're in cognitive science. There's a big rift between cognitive science and linguistics at UCSD right before I got there.
Wow.
Yep. Anyway, long history. So yeah, the only other one I ever looked at was honestly David Perlmutter's relational grammar, which was interesting.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's another.
But maybe that's why nobody knows what I'm talking about when I say things like C command.
I know it because effectively we looked at it like a curiosity. Like, let's talk about how people have tried to analyze these languages, just so that way we could talk about how it failed. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, I know these things. I know X-bar, I know C command, I know like these things. But again, we were looking at them as this sort of oddity of, well, there's literature out there about this theory. How does it go wrong?
It helps if you think of, like I found, it helps if you think of it like you're playing a game rather than doing anything that has anything to do with language. Which is always the way I've looked at syntax. It's like a little game they do to amuse themselves.
By the way, I like Jake's optionality theory, is where the phonology changes based on how much I choose to care.
Yeah.
It's like, yes.
By the way, though, I have read optimality theory papers outside of phonology, and
it was well in the course, because I was taking the the PhD level phonology course at the time, and so in that course we ended up basically studying 4 different theories, and so both of our big papers for that class were, here is a single data set, you have to analyze it in all 4 ways and compare the results and see what works best, and so on and so forth.
That's cool.
That was actually one of the hardest classes of writing that I have ever had, because the professor put a maximum limit on paper length rather than a minimum.
Yeah.
She's like, write it as short as you want, but we had a data set that we had to analyze and describe the results of, but only had like 8 pages to do it in, and like that really taught me how to be way more concise in certain ways. And so anyway, it was really
well,
that was where I was like, how much will the professor notice that I'm using 0.8 margins versus 1-inch margins? How much will the professor notice that I'm actually using 11.7 font instead of 12 font? Like it was the first time in my life I was trying to like scrunch things down as much as possible while not making it noticeable, so she wouldn't.
Yeah. Well, I have read your book, so we have that professor partially to thank then.
Yeah, it was actually Bill Bright. You know that name?
No,
it was
actually.
in California. At one of I think it was Berkeley.
Really?
I think Bill Bright was there. Anyway,
Dang, no, I don't know.
I think they got married. Lisa Min was his partner. I think they got married. Anyway. But yeah. All right.
All right,
We've
so
survived. What one again? I just know it wasn't my option. What one, David?
the easy one. The easy one.
Option one?
Yeah, maximally explicit. This is going to be super easy. We just write in some examples. Where are we? Up here. Yes, so option 1A. So we can delete the others, even this really, really, really cool one that we'll probably never remember again.
Do you want to delete that? Or do you want to, like, put that in a note?
Well,
you know what? I'm gonna write it down.
We've got it on the poll.
We do, but
on the Patreon website.
you know, I've already decided how Guineso is doing relative clauses, but I've got a few other languages that I'm going to be working on, where.
Oh my God, maximally explicit, new podcast, new language podcast with Mateus and Miles, and they just talk language.
Okay.
And then tell me when, and I'll delete.
Oh yeah, you're good.
Okay. Okay. Do we actually have all these words? Ooh, I got a spam risk call.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Should I answer and put it on the air?
No. Because they'll end up being one of those spam calls where they like actually have information somehow.
That's actually a good point. Magpie. No.
What was Magpie's good point?
Well, we do have somewhere down the line the possibility of doing the third doggish language. One's the one used by the wolves and the coyotes. And Magpie is suggesting maybe that's how the relative clauses could work there. Ooh, that's not how you spell coyote. Coyo, and then I did the cursive G from Cyrillic. Oh.
Ooh.
No. Oh, that's a hard agree, Jonathan. Coyote Lang does need to have tla. Here, I'm gonna write that down too. Okay, there we go. Cutatla. No, it's Kadatla magpie. That's how Klingon got it. Retroflexes would be so cool if they didn't sound so terrible.
Okay.
Mm.
We can also get rid of that because it's no longer option. It is.
Do something else here.
Okay. Relative clauses.
We need to invent a retroflex central bell. So Do we have rabbit? We don't have rabbit. Let's see if we can fill in some words here.
We should have rabbit.
We've got it.
I also can't remember if we had talked about experiential verbs in either language and whether they work differently.
We've got rabbit in Hauhoff. And so it could be the same in Lohakish. In Hauhoff, to hop is ach, and then rabbit is ach ach. Actually it's arach in Hauhoff. In Lohakish it would be ach ach. I'll have a question for you when you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So in Hauhoff, the word for rabbit is obviously reduplicated, and it's arach with
Okay.
initial stress. In Lohakish, we said that stress is going to be on the last syllable of a word, which would be achach. Do we feel like that makes sense for reduplication? And if it doesn't, do we need to start marking stress with an acute accent the way we do in Ingala?
I mean, if we're going to change it up, then yeah, I think we need to mark stress on something that isn't predictable.
Okay.
And so nothing that we've created so far would need an accent. So like we don't need to go change anything.
I don't know, actually.
What? You think we need to mark everything when...
Hold on a sec. No, I'm just saying, yeah, actually we do have a word. So the word for mother is wo-wo, and we have that stressed initially. But it's like more like a mommy. Mother is wo. It's another case of reduplication.
Oh, sorry. I meant like any non-reduplicated vocabulary would not need an accent. Like so far everything has been stressed finally, right?
I'm taking a look just to be sure. No, here's another one. Tofta. It's the pronoun.
In that case, we should be marking these because if it's not predictable, I also can't remember if most of our inflections are prefixes, though, right? So, like, no, wait, not on verbs, though. What happens with verbal inflections? Did we move the stress? Did we decide that?
Good question. Well, look at that, the first person pronoun as well. All those pronouns that have the...
Was that a mistake, or did we
No.
really intend on it being rafu and
No.
not rafi?
No, it really should be. And then there's there are these words that end in like a geminate followed by ah. So like rain, its protoform was lerl, and that comes out as lija. And we had previously said, well, that's an exception, so we don't need to do that. Kita. Yeah.
David, that means if we mark these, we gotta have the double acutes on ah.
Oh.
We can do it, but like...
Does that even exist in IPA?
Well, the double acute over any vowel can exist.
Sure, but like as a precomposed character, which is what I prefer.
Well, let me check something. I gotta remember where it is.
Anybody happen to know? Jonathan says I don't have it on my keyboard, so it might not. Magpie says it does not. This came up in Ingala. Maybe that was the reason we didn't distinguish a from a in Ingala. And that works in Ingala. It doesn't work here. Magpie the Miraculous.
Oh, I am glad I haven't wiped my computer yet.
Yeah.
I need to look at all the keyboards I had, or all the things for the emoji picker, character picker that I had. Yeah, it seems the O, U, and Y are the only ones outside of a combining mark that exist according to this. But I don't have all of my things here.
Something I've done previously is used a circumflex accent.
My brain is skipping. Is that the hat or the V?
It's the hat.
Okay. What is the little V called? Hat check?
Yes.
Okay. I momentarily absolutely could not remember which way we were talking.
Something that we do have. Where is it? I can't remember how we call it up, but we do have that. If we wanted to go the ash route. I hate to do that since we haven't used it anywhere else in any of these languages.
That's the other thing. It is really difficult to, keep in mind what we've done in other languages, and then not be like, well, why don't we go back to Ingala then?
Yeah. At least with Ingala, it's definitely phonemic, and so it makes sense why we did what we did.
Yeah. Because it's
and
predictable whether it's A or A.
What I meant to say was allophonic. Very predictable. This is not. And in fact, right here we have two unbelievably clear minimal pairs, with avo being bush or shrub and avau being clan. So
Yeah.
it's nah, you can't do that.
Now, of course, the other option, David, is to say if stress is final, you don't mark it. You only mark it if it's on a different syllable. And then we make darn sure that we never have stress of an a on anything but the final syllable.
Oh, that was what I was planning on doing. So only marking it if it was non-final.
So we need to make darn sure we don't have any as
Yeah.
in a penultimate syllable that need to be stressed, that we need to mark. Because I do have the combining mark built into our keyboard, but it'll be a combining mark. Not what you would be hoping for.
Yes, Jake. So we don't have a, we only have eh.
But that means that the E letter is used to represent that, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take those little notes away.
Okay. Let me see if we can actually skate by with it by looking at the verbs.
Right.
Because all of those would be weirdly stressed, right?
All of those are stressed on the first syllable, or on the root. They're stressed on the root.
Therefore, they would need to be marked.
Technically, yeah. Gama, gambo, shigama.
I know it's not ideal, but I have been able to search by combining character.
Well,
I think. And I'm going to double check and make sure I'm not lying to you on that.
oh, conlangery. Tongues and Runes, Saturday at 6 a.m. Pacific. You have stumbled in on a real puzzler. A noodler. Also, let's have a booba Tuesdays at 1:30 Pacific. We are so sorry we weren't there. This has been a week. And it's not done.
So I was able to do a search and find with a combining character. I just put it there and searched the document for it, and it pulled up.
So that is, I mean, that is nice, but I think that we have to deal with this secondary issue, which would mean that almost every single verb would have to occur with an acute accent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the only exception would be third person singular imperfective. Third person singular in general, and the participle. Singular participle. Participle, right? Everything else is stressed on the root. Well, basically, that's the rule for verbs. They are always stressed on the root.
But what if we follow more of a Spanish accent marking system where, like, Spanish stress does move, but there are different expectations depending on not only what the coda is, but also what kind of word it is. Because there are certain instances where it will depend on if it's like a verb form or something else. And then it's only marked from there if it defies all of the expectations. Whereas with verbs, it's like you always expect that stress pattern to happen.
Yeah.
And the only reason you need to mark it is if that verb stress pattern doesn't happen. And then same with like pronouns. I mean, I think the only reason, something like el is marked for stress is just to differentiate it from el, meaning the, like in writing. Like
No, they're all the monosyllabic words. When there's two that have the same sound, you put an accent on one of them. They chose it specifically, so it's always, words are always stressed on the final syllable if it ends in a consonant. And if it's not, then it gets an acute accent, unless that consonant is N or S. And they chose that specifically because N or S figures so prominently in the verb paradigm without final stress. In this case, it wouldn't be based on the segment, it would be based on the lexical class. So we could say, stress is always on the final syllable. It's marked if not, unless it's a verb, then it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get away with that?
Why is donde? It's not just monosyllabic. Donde is marked for stress, but it's on the initial syllable.
Oh, because only when it's used as a question.
Right, but I'm just saying it's not monosyllabic, so it's not just monosyllabic words.
Oh, that's another rule. You put an accent on it when it's a question used as a question. So like, ¿dónde estás? It has to have an accent mark. But, I don't know, la casa donde éramos, streaming?
Like, according to mine, we're not. Although maybe it's back, because now I'm getting all the chat. I think we're back. Suddenly I'm back. Like, my video is moving again.
Thank God.
I thought I looked pretty good in the frozen screen, though. It's like, if it's going to get frozen, at least it's not awful.
Man. Very sorry about that. So then you didn't see what I typed in chat, which was Hungarian as these two, which is supposed to be long versus short.
No, it's right there. Now
But
it's there.
Oh, but well, I typed it again. But it's versus aw, which is
Okay.
odd. Odd, rather. Okay, so back to the matter at hand.
We solve it Klingon style. David's gonna hate this. Are you ready for this?
What? Just start writing them as separate words?
No.
Where are you typing?
You just wait. It's coming up in chat.
Okay.
These are obviously the stressed pals.
Have we disconnected from chat again?
Have we? Oh, I typed it.
Yeah, because it hasn't shown up for me.
Aww. It's the video live. Are we? What's even? Are you on live chat or top chat?
No, like they're saying it again as well. They're saying that we've disconnected.
But Patrick saw.
I don't understand what's going on. It says we have an excellent connection.
I don't understand either. But now I typed it in the document. Can you see it? I was back where we were typing things in the AWA category. I'm sorry, I don't know. Like, other people are seeing what I typed, so, like, my
no.
video looks live.
How dare you? No, we're not doing that.
People have been really excited to find out how you would react, and that's all you're giving them. That is so just low key. You need it to be bigger. I did something incredible.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay.
My God, like my stream just keeps kind of blipping in and out from my watch back. So like, no idea what's happening. Beautiful day here. There's no reason for internet to be going down. As internet is going down on YouTube's end, other internet things are just fine for us. Like our shared document is still up to date and going back and forth.
The problem is I'm looking at YouTube right here and it says we have an excellent connection. There's no problems.
Apparently for them, for most of what I'm seeing, it seems like since that one blip, it's been fine.
Okay.
So even though we
But yeah,
are seeing things happening,
but yeah,
they see
chat
it.
is not working.
That is so bizarre.
I'm gonna.
Although the little one that's open on the stream is working.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I was gonna say the one actually showing on the stream is up to date.
I've tried something. Okay.
Woo! All right, so no Klingon style.
Listen. Okay.
Also, I will say, just as an FYI for anyone who doesn't know, the reason Klingon was written with capital letters representing some sounds and not others was solely based on the fact that when Mark Okrant created it, it was in the days of like typewriters and limited character sets to choose from. And so it was basically, if it's not on a standard keyboard, like, and not key combinations, but just legit what you can do on a standard keyboard, nothing fancy, is what he was limited to. And then you start thinking about all of the sounds of Klingon that absolutely were not made for our alphabet. And so that's why there are capital letters being used to represent sounds. And so please know that David's reaction to using capital letters is nothing against Klingon, and it's the necessity of how it started. But now we have options, and David is saying, let's not do that. The small caps. Yes.
So one option is to do this, which I've done before, but it was consistent, and so.
And that was only the stressed ah.
Yeah.
or a stressed umlaut character. And so we would need to do that for the U's and the O's as well.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it came up at that time. We don't have an instance where we need to stress an in any of our languages. It's just we could say the difference was that, of course, it's not stress but tone in Wokutiju.
Right. And that's why it gets marked differently. And I am momentarily forgetting all of our modern sounds. Is it the E and the A are the only two in this language that existed? I know at one point, like mid-stage, we had all sorts of rounding and unrounding, like, you know, opposite roundedness is what I'm thinking.
No, we have E.
Yeah, A and E.
Yeah.
Those are the two I'm asking about. Is that it? We don't have an U.
Oh, wait a minute. Am I forgetting about Magpie's Miracle, the thing that Magpie did and nobody else helped with? No. No, that's gone now.
Okay, so it's only the U and the A.
Yeah, it's only the U and the A.
And you're right that if we did it this way, in Ngala we use the acute accent to represent stress, but it doesn't have any umlauted. So this will be a mix of acute accent where possible, circumflex where not possible. And by not possible, it's the a situation that makes it not possible.
Can you type in that combined A with the double somewhere? Because I don't even know how to get it myself.
Are you back in that A section again?
Yeah, I'm in
Oh,
Awa.
I see. Yeah, here. So A. There you go.
Because, we could go this route and try to avoid it, and then just say verbs don't get the stress, I guess, or just write stress for a whole bunch of verbs.
And visually it looks the same. I just did the combining versus the single, and visually it looks the same. So that's something. Sometimes you do the combining and it looks slightly different than if you had the whole thing. It also, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. It also deletes as a whole character. Some combining marks you have to delete twice to get rid of it. So it does treat it as a character once it's combined, which is something. So
The majority are saying use the circumflex, which is interesting.
okay. On my end, I see the double, so that's
So do I.
weird. Magpie, are you on a phone or is it on a computer that it's rendering differently for you?
Yeah, does anybody else see for combined, see the double acute? I see it, Jesse sees it. It would be a shame though if that interfered with the outcome
The
of the poll.
results, yeah. Okay. That is really interesting, Magpie. With a misplaced diacritic. Okay, so Jonathan also and says that it's misplaced even.
Huh.
So one moment I'm getting over to Discord so that way I can see what we're dealing with. Boop-a-dee-boop.
Oh, I'm in the wrong Discord. That would help.
Just out of curiosity,
Oh,
Jake, what did you vote
interesting.
for in this poll? These three options.
It showed up as a single, but only the second one showed up. So that's why it's misplaced.
Oh.
It's sort of like
Oh my
just
God.
moved over.
Oh, that's yeah, and well observed Hundeküchen.
Oh, and then Tethys sent it as well. Woo! Yeah, okay. So we don't want to do the combining mark because if you're not seeing it rendered correctly on all devices, that is obviously not great.
Well, I mean, it's filtered through chat. I mean, if we were printing out anything, then as long as it
Yeah.
PDF'd correctly, then it's fine. Can you, just out of curiosity, that combined one, can you pop it into Discord and see if it shows up?
Oh, in Discord.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just a second. I need to open Discord on my computer. Okay, let's.
Oh, ooh, hang on a sec. Jonathan says, while you're on Discord, check out the Pets channel.
Okay, I popped it into chat. Jonathan says it looks good. Tethys is showing that the whole combined is off-centered. Magpie, the same. Wow. Okay.
So it's...
But it looks fine on Discord.
It looks fine for everybody on Discord?
Matei said it looked weird on the YouTube poll when it showed up on the computer for, Matei's, but that it looks fine in Discord.
Okay.
And Tethys is saying as well. Magpie. So so far, and Jonathan. So far everybody who said it looked wonky, and it did look wonky, but in oddly two different ways. For YouTube, it looks fine here.
Okay.
So that is something.
Yeah.
Did you see Jake posted the screenshot where it froze
yeah.
for everyone? And I'm just like, Okay,
I
down
agree.
to pets.
I agree with Tethys.
Oh, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Let's just stare at a picture of Luna for the rest of the stream.
Lavuna, but did you see what Lavuna was looking at?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Makes it even better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So Tethys has a good point and Magpie has a good point. Tethys says YouTube chat is just bad at rendering special characters and shouldn't motivate romanization choices. I agree. Magpie says, I think if a character is this inconsistent about rendering, it's probably better to avoid. I also agree with that. Very, very difficult.
I want you one other thing to consider.
Mm-hmm.
Bear with me. As I just try to pick out. Okay. Oh. Well, no. I don't know that. Okay. Okay. So these two should look different. So the other issue is that not all fonts have this. And
yeah.
David is using different fonts, which very technically speaking could be fixed through some of the work that David's doing behind the scenes on the cards. But for ease...
Right.
Oh, it works in Cracked though. You can see that the two middle fonts here, if that's actually on screen, yeah, that's on screen. The two middle fonts here absolutely do not work. And so the character that you see, the combining character, is actually the like default, whatever the default is. I think it's sort of a Helvetica style font. And I put the A next to it for what it should look like in that particular font. And
Right.
I can just really quickly blow that up a bit, and we'll take that away in a minute. But like,
Yeah.
you can see it more clearly there.
And it's like you can do it by just creating a new text box and floating it, but
Yeah.
it's kind of sloppy.
I will say though, let's okay, so that one has that one, but oops, not the other way. Whoops, the other way. What's the other way? What's the special character for
Command
the other
I.
way? No, that does that. Oh, Command I would give us italics. Option I gives us the upside down, not the circumflex, not the.
Pretty sure it is.
It's not in that font.
That's wrong. Why is it doing that?
That's what that is in that font. So
Why the hell is it doing that?
the same fonts that have problems with the combining characters have problems with the hat check or the circumflex.
This is the only font I've ever seen in my entire life that makes that mistake.
I'm glad that I was momentarily thinking I was going crazy. But this same font here, notice it doesn't have the character either.
Does it think that there's no difference?
I don't know.
Whatever, bro. It's just a line that does that or something.
That is the most bizarre thing I've seen. Okay, so all that is to say, David, the font problem is going to be a font problem, whether we do the combining or the circumflex. And it's going to be a problem in weird and unique ways. So,
Can I interest you in some hors d'oeuvres?
oh my god. That looks so horrible side by side. Oh. Man. Herb d'oeuvres. That's right. That's
Herb
right.
d'oeuvres.
That's what it was. Herb d'oeuvres. Okay. So, David, I'm curious to know how your heart is feeling knowing that the font is going to be a font problem, whether you're going to have to put a circumflex superimposed or this double acute thing sort of like superimposed, knowing that it's going to be a problem one way or another. Do you have a preference for like Sovala as a whole with how this is romanized?
I need to ask one more question of everybody. All right, so here's the poll. The question is, if we're going to mark stress, doesn't matter how we do it, should we ignore verbs? And the issue is that verb paradigms are routinely not stressed on the final syllable. They're the only things that are routinely not stressed on the final syllable. They are always stressed on the root, and the root is not always final. And so if we were to mark non-final stress, do you think we should mark stress on verbs, or we should leave them alone with the understanding that verbs don't, we know that verbs are stressed funny? And I see that the way I asked the question is very poor. Yes means ignore. Yeah. You know what? This is stupid. I'm sorry. I'm doing this over. Should we ignore acute or marking stress on verbs? Thank you.
Okay, and for everyone asking, what about using an ash? Same font problem. The ash doesn't show up in every font,
And the acute marked ash definitely doesn't show up in every font. So I've got a string of trials here with some different fonts that I had just pulled. Same thing is happening. Some fonts will show the ash. Some fonts won't, but then the fonts that do show an ash don't allow for the acute accent over the ash as a mark, which means we're back to the same problem. I see how you asked the poll question the first time around.
Yeah.
Just like ignore verbs. You never say a verb out loud ever in this language. That's how the foxes speak. Yeah, so the kid agreed.
Yeah. It's 50-50.
If I have to insert an acute mark, well, one, I'd rather have to insert an acute mark over a character that just exists. Some of these fonts, the ash doesn't exist at all. And so that's going to limit, especially with David marking using font styles for like bards versus warriors versus whatever. If the ash doesn't exist in those fonts and it's already been set for like the base package is being printed in these fonts, David would have to go through and design an ash for all of the fonts that don't have it. And there's a lot of those fancy fonts that I promise you don't have the ash character.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, I see why people prefer it, but like, it's not in all font packages, and that would be a disaster on the designing front for that.
It's like when you go to a Vietnamese restaurant and you see they've chosen a font which looks very nice, but clearly has never, ever, ever thought of rendering Vietnamese.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you see little floaty accents that actually aren't where they're supposed to be. And by the way, David, I don't know if you saw CISA Languages said that, I voted no, but if you write in the documentation this is where verbs are stressed differently, then I don't really see the problem.
Yeah.
And so it's a little give and take.
It tastes like onions and not ice cream. It tastes the anti-meat. Yeah.
Indeed.
Okay. Because it's kind of two separate questions. I was actually leaning towards using the double acute and trying to avoid it. Trying to avoid ever having a stress there. But then it was like when I came to verbs, it was like, oh, well, you can't avoid it there. You can't avoid it there. It'd show up all over the place. A bird just bounced off the window and Laguna leapt at it. So I feel like there's only two serious options. I'm gonna go to the very
Bavarian?
I know, I was about to say bavardum. Like Lavuna is actually just Luna with an infix.
Love it.
It was bottom.
Bavardum.
It was bavardum. All right.
It's because I did that. I accidentally called Lavuna Luna, and that's why it's stuck in your head now.
Yep. Why don't nouns usually have initial stress? All right.
It's because of the way the inflections came, because they were modifiers.
Oh yeah, it's because
first.
it's because of the noun cases.
And so they end up bearing final.
All right. Here we go. I'm gonna leave that. Or whatever. It's all gonna be green. Option A. And then this is option C is basically we do not market, and we just say stress falls on the root, and it is on the user to figure out what the root is.
Foxes are very sly and clever. They know where stress is. They don't care if you do.
This is kind of true. Hold on. Final poll. Fight.
Yeah, David had blueberry matcha and fell in love with it.
Yes, Proto-Slavic speakers also had cherry matcha. Yes. That was your correct, Jonathan.
Jake took a screenshot picture of me in the Jake position where I'm peering at chat, so I'm all close to the thing. Because yes, I do get close as I'm trying to look at chat and like make sure I'm reading it correctly. Sometimes I zoom in with my face.
Okay, hold on a sec. Oh, look at you! You're all up close.
I am. I feel like I shouldn't be that close to a camera. I should stay back a little.
Wow, everybody hates the double acutes now. That's actually kind of nice. It's like, all right, you just take it out of the running.
I'm really enjoying the C option with the attitude of these foxes. It is not for you to know how to stress our language. For we, the mighty foxes,
Okay,
already know.
hang on a sec. Stress is never marked. If you're a fox, you are sly and clever, and you will know. And
Love
I
it.
think
Kopiko!
it is time. My God, this stream has had everything. Sorry. Oh my God.
Welcome to LangTime Studio.
Mm-hmm. Cheers, partner.
We're like Bob Ross, we remain calm. And we paint happy little trees.
Yeah, that was my first idea for streaming.
Bob Ross?
Yeah, essentially, like, I would just stream by myself and just talk softly, and people would watch, and I wouldn't ever look at chat or anything.
I'm trying to envision a world where you could, the entire time you're working on a language, stay chill. And not look something up and be like, they did what? As David's like, oh wow, they have made an interesting choice. I would not agree with this choice, but it's a happy little accident. May we all live in peace.
Kopiko, even for you buckaroos that do everything wrong.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I actually want to see. Okay, desktop isn't.
Jonathan, you got an answer? It's just we found out we weren't streaming when we gave the answer. Yes, we should be there on Tuesday, barring some calamity that we don't know yet that will affect our entire week schedule again next week. Next Tuesday should be normal.
Yeah.
So far. The last 3 weeks have been bizarre on the schedule department, and so like I'm loath to guarantee anything at this point.
I really want to show something that was incredible, but okay, there it is. There it is. There it is. Oh wait, no, I have to press this first, and then I can download it. And now, oh, yeah. And now I can quit that. And now, I think I'm just gonna have to show my desktop. Hold on a sec.
Bye, Mateus.
Okay, get ready, everybody.
I have no idea what's happening.
Oh, I gotta make sure it shows up. No, I need to scoot it over. On Let's Have a Booba on Tuesday, there's going to be capybara language, and this is the teaser for it, done by Jonathan, who also did our background image that you see while we're streaming. But look at this fella.
It is very cute.
Anyway, yeah, very, very, very charming. And now an emote reaction in the Let's Have a Booba Discord. So good. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted to show that to everybody. Okay. Now, okay. Well, that was a tempest in a teacup, wasn't it?
Yes.
This is like one of those episodes of One Piece where they're like, we need to get through that gate, and then somebody steps in, I'm going to stop you from getting through that gate, and then they sit down and have a discussion, and the person decides, actually, I'm on your side. And so, now, let's get through that gate. Boom, to be continued. Okay. No stress marked anywhere. And so, given that all the other reduplicated ones are stressed on the first syllable, and then our word for rabbit, which is where this all started, is also going to be stressed on the first syllable.
Because of course it is.
Yeah. Ahach. Oh my gosh. That's the genitive singular of rabbit. Ahach. Ahach.
That's awful.
The proto is ugh. Rabbit. Bunny. The first place I learned of the expression tempest in a teacup was in the Esperanto book written by Butler R. Montague, or is it Montague R. Butler? I don't remember. It's blue. It was done in 1925. And it was the last page where there is a discussion of some small grammatical point in Esperanto that could go one way or the other. Oh, that Kopiko soothes my soul. Magically delicious. Okay, and the reason I was doing that was because I was looking at the words we needed for, was it the fox built a house for the rabbit or something like that? Fox who built a house saw a rabbit.
Yeah, fox who built a house saw a rabbit.
We don't have a word for house. That shout out Cassandra Woodhouse. And we don't have build. So can we got rabbit now though.
Why don't we just adjust our expectations?
Mm-hmm. We need a transitive. We need two different transitive verbs. We have see. Do we have hug?
We have it in help, right?
Oh, we've got it in this too. Feast. Okay. Perfect. The fox who hugged a carrot? I don't know. What else? What other nouns have we got?
Bush, bone, cat,
Cat?
cloud,
What's cat?
dog,
What's cat?
ich, IH.
Okay.
Friend is UD.
Is what?
Ood, UD.
Wow. It's short. Okay, so we need hug in the third person singular. Perfect. I'm about to tell you something fun.
What are you about to tell me?
After all this, we still don't have our relativizer.
Right. Like, I knew that.
Ah, fiso. Okay, so fiso key is key fox or is it keef?
I'm going to check in just a second.
Quiche, of course. Fiso quiche. Relative. Key. Fiso. Oh. Sorry, Fiso key.
I was doing something incredibly important.
Hmm?
You have to go to announcements on Discord to see for yourself.
Alright.
Now I'm ready to rejoin the actual stream.
She. She show.
Thank you, Jonathan.
He. Can you confirm for me what what cat is in the accusative?
Here we go. Accusative singular would be WIH.
We.
God, I love our new little labels. Thanks, Jake.
Oh my goodness, what have you done here, Jess?
It's the business capybara. Be on the business end of the capybara.
Okay. So we don't have the relative yet, but are we happy with this? So sheeshokish blank fisoki wich wachach wachach. So saw the fox that hugged he rabbit, hugged he cat rabbit.
I mean, like, syntactically, I'm happy with it.
Kind of got this double accusative thing.
Yeah. And that's going to happen a lot. It's going to happen anytime we have a transitive relative clause and it's modifying the subject noun. Because even the pronouns are marked with that wa form, right? Like there's
Yeah.
residue of the wa, so we'll get wa.
I mean, the accusative. Wait. Accusative shows up differently if it starts with a. If it starts with a consonant, it shows up as H. If it starts with a consonant, it only shows up as W if it starts with a vowel.
Gotcha.
One of the things I liked about 1B was that it broke this up.
Okay, just a second. I'm going to trash this post. I'm trying to share the full image. So sorry. Jonathan asked if I could share the full image. I was like, no problem. So I just tried to drag and drop from photos into Discord, and it did something real strange. Actually, you know what? I bet if I do it on my phone, it'll be fine. Okay. Sorry, David. Please don't let me get you off track.
All I was pointing out was that 1B would have prevented this.
1B was my favorite. I even campaigned for it in the last stream.
Yeah.
Before we left, and I thought maybe I had enough influence over certain voting members of our group that would be enough, but alas.
I can go and download the results and see who voted for what.
I knew. But anyway, yeah, it's... So there are certain things about the phonetics of how things are coming together where it's like, whew. But also I always knew I was going to have a problem with getting everything pronounced here. So it is what it is. Shishu, kish. Kish, blah, blah. Fisu, kiwi, wachach. Wachach.
Sheshel kish na. I'll just put na in there. Sheshel kish na fiso ki wi wachach. How did you all vote for 1A? I mean, it'll be marginally better with a direct object, but the fox whom a cat hugged saw a rabbit. What's the accusative of third person singular? It's just key, right?
I think it is, yeah, unless we're doing no wait, even if we do the contrastive form, it's still key. If we did the contrastive form for the nominal of third person singular, we would get kita. But that's only if that means somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, no matter what, key. David's typing up a storm. I can't wait to see this.
Well, yeah, chat this for running for president.
Part of the problem.
That was from earlier in the chat.
Well, I saw
Can't
the
remember.
president thing, yeah.
Well,
And so yeah, the second one, by the way, the fox, who a cat hugged, or the fox that a cat hugged saw a rabbit. I like that better on the back half. The ihki wahach. It's also just like it's not just these particular words that we chose. The wa problem is going to be the same for accusative anywhere. But
we could make this week's poll, see if people want to undo the results of last poll. We wouldn't do it ourselves, but if they wanted to revisit it.
Because then we would have wiki waka.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be the difference between these two. So direct object would be, fiso ihki wahach. Whereas this one would be fiso wiki wahach.
Mm. Interesting. That's also interesting then that something as small as a wa at the beginning.
It's also interesting that, now that I'm thinking about it, key doesn't change for nominative or accusative, so it wouldn't reflect the schematic thing that I showed in the poll. Like, theoretically it would. But, like theoretically it would be marked for accusative, but it just wouldn't be any different phonologically.
In which case maybe having it occur in situ is actually better. So maybe our patrons did an okay thing. What are you thinking?
Thinking I still like it better. But what about our relativizer?
So in my mind, this was something that was potentially going to be generic, and by that, thinking about how, like, in English we have that, which could be used at the beginning of a relative clause or at the beginning of a nominal clause, object clause, complement clause, whatever you call it. Finnish is similar. In the way that, not in relative clauses, but like how one form can end up being used for like all these embedding strategies, with etta, how like etta can end up being used with a lot of different embedding strategies, grammatically. And so I was potentially, with this option, by having this introductory thing that says I'm a relative clause, one decision we can make is, do we want it to be a specific relativizer, or do we want like this little grammatical particle that really what it's doing is saying I'm an embedded clause, and then you kind of need to like figure out how it's being used grammatically to say, oh, it must be a relative clause, it must be the object of the verb, it must be being used in this particular way.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I'm in favor of it. It's just a matter of what its source is. Madeline has been here.
Madeline is here, yes.
Or
at least was here. Still here?
Oh, man.
I don't know.
I blew that.
Because I think Madeline said that she could only drop in.
Yeah.
Okay,
just one second.
Actually, I should have used this as entire quote.
So, one source that is shared often across languages for a relativizer and a subordinator is a demonstrative.
Yeah.
And so
Demonstrative is an option.
I think we should definitely throw that out there as an option. I feel like we could potentially brainstorm some other we could talk about a verb source. I guess the question is, for a pre-clausal kind of introductory thing, is there something that makes more sense?
Say.
Well, yeah, to say. But, like, would it make more sense to have something grammaticalizing from a verb for this particular language? Or is it something that you really feel we could, like, move, shift?
I'm feeling like, so we have the demonstrative. I think say works. I think one works. But not for both. No, that's the thing. Because we want it for subordination as well. Like, I hope that.
Right.
So I'm going to cross out one. I still think say and a demonstrative work.
A potential no, I don't want to say that just yet. I want to look more into how that's achieved in languages. I'm looking at the World Lexicon of Grammaticalization for some inspiration right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to check something.
Jake is saying scream.
Do I need to go to and?
No.
How you doing over there?
Feel worn out.
It's been a heck of a week.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? We've made it. Okay.
Jake has an interesting idea that scream ameliorates and just becomes the new word for say, and then old say is just this grammatical marker. That would be a good idea. We went that route.
Oh, that is nice. I do like that.
Oh.
So one of the things I was looking at is that for
at least one language that was studied, the use of and can end up being used as a subordinating conjunction. And so I was trying to think of potentials for that where it's like this and then this other thing. And so that I think is potential.
What did we have? Because we just did this. What do we have for and?
I think it's bow.
To pounce on.
Yeah, bow.
That's interesting.
Which is also kind of like semantically fun because it's like thinking of a fox pouncing on more information. I pounce on this extra bit of information for you. And Magpie says that Aaron used a Welsh example of and being used as a subordinator. Very cool. The use of Canaan as a subordinating conjunction. Wait, is there really a wiki page for Canaan?
I was just thinking about that. I think they mean my wiki, but I don't remember that.
Did you do it? Oh, Jonathan says perhaps that's not exactly what was happening in Welsh. So that it may have been a different example or just loosely related.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you don't have it pulled up on screen, I don't think. Oh, there we go. Now you do. Ah, you forgot you made a whole 4 Canaans page. With the image? I didn't know you put that up. Oh, that is too funny.
Absolutely.
Oh, look at me getting all close to my screen again, trying to see the YouTube thing.
Yeah, and then we have the...
I am a floating head.
And we have the different protoforms. Canaan. And Canaan, yeah.
That's fantastic. Okay, so Sis, the languagist, says that and is subordinating in Irish to the word for and is really polysemous. So that may be. It may be. A good source for us. It may be. Okay.
I kind of like this idea. Okay, so I am going to ask one question.
And one question only. We did not just have an earthquake, by the way. David hit the table. My camera was shaking like maybe we were in an earthquake, and I just want everyone to feel safe and secure.
I'm asking them. I'm asking. Speaking of which, foxes are absolutely going to be dancers once the dancing class comes in.
As they should be. Oh, wait.
Oh gosh. Oh, I'm so sorry, but if we can't laugh about our trauma, then we just wallow all the time.
What?
Oh, the poll here.
Oh. Now listen, I got it written down. I'm gonna think about what language this would be suitable for, or build an entire language around this idea, which I've done before.
No, I ate the onion to subvert the results of the poll. I am here asking if we want to put it up for a vote again, and I'm abiding by this. I eat an onion when it's just like, no, you all were wrong, I'm changing it. All right, they say that our relative clauses should stay as is. So they like them that way, and so they shall. Then this is what I think we should do. I think we should make this week's poll whether we're going to go the scream say route or the and route.
Yeah, I would like to point out that not using the scream say route would not stop us from having, say used generically or for something else, like a generic quoting verb that just gets popped on the beginning of a quotation that it only gets used there, and then scream can still go that. So I don't want anyone voting solely based on, I don't want that to not be used. That strategy can still be used, but in other ways.
Yeah, we'll use it. We'll definitely use it. I like the idea. Especially as scream can be an inherent Fox word that then can show up in different ways in Hauhoff. But yeah, I like this idea, and even if it doesn't win, I'd like to hold on to it.
Yeah.
What a really, I think, a good idea to use and that way. Cause it's so polyfunctional, I hope and you have a good time, the fox, and especially since we have the inserted pronoun, the fox and he hugged a rabbit. Saw a cat. Yeah, I like that. I think it's really clever.
I think it's clever, and I don't think it would be... I think it would be distinguishable pretty easily grammatically in many, what its role is, but I also like that ambiguity of it being used in multiple ways. In the same way that English speakers don't get confused about the role of that in a sentence, and yet that is so amorphous, and it gets used for literally 5 different grammatical jobs, and yet when we hear it we automatically know how to interpret it. And I like the fact that using and would sort of lean into that natural quirkiness. And Bibluridian is here, yay!
I'm glad he's arrived when he did. It helps bring some cheer at the end of the episode.
Indeed. Our final 3 minutes.
Okay, so
of 7:24.
So if all of us were like a squad of cheerleaders, right? So you, me, Bibluridian, Jake, Magpie, all of us, right? We're all a cheer squad. Who is the cheer captain, and is it a cheerocracy or a cheertatorship?
It would be a semi-cheerocracy.
Okay.
When people vote wrong, it becomes a cheertatorship.
Okay.
I'm obviously cheer captain.
Wow. All right. There we go.
I feel like out of the group you mentioned, I may be the only person who at least pretended to be a cheerleader for a day.
That's right.
And so I feel that gives me some authority.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing based on the people you listed. I could be totally wrong, and I could find out that actually we have some very active cheerleaders in our group.
If I had my high school body, though, I'd give you a run for, elasticity and athleticism.
Jake was dance captain in primary school. Dance captain, cheerleader. Did you do cheers? Did you support a team?
So we did earthquake drills in high school here in California. I guess in England, then you had dance drills, like spontaneous dance drills, and then you were the captain of the dance drills. You're just in class, and then the siren goes off, and Jake stands up. Time to dance. So everybody goes on out. That wasn't a good.
But based on David's use of flexibility as being a component of cheer captainness, I think I got it.
Yeah.
Well, see, Jake, you if you don't even have it, then I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I was only a pretend cheerleader for one day, so I can't really claim real authority. It's just my fake authority that I would assert over a group. Now, if Matisse were part of the group that David mentioned, then Matisse is cheer captain. If for no other reason than Matisse looks better in a short skirt
Than I do?
than I do.
Oh. I don't know about that.
Oh, I agree.
I don't know.
I disagree. I think Matisse looks better in a short skirt.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Ooh, Jake performed at Her Majesty's Theatre.
What?
Woo!
Is there only one? Or is that just like a name that gets tossed about? I want to know.
If David wore a long skirt, it would be hard to dance.
I want to, I just want to add one word to the dictionary before.
Ooh, yes,
Things
4
happen.
o'clock.
And so I want to see, will this work? Oh, perfect. Perfect. I have the word. It's going to be prototype, which is tooth, and it's going to be foxy tab. Long ab. And so I just need a noun. All right. Tooth. Come on. Push, little one. Push. And then I'm pretty sure those all stay. Yeah. So then that's just... And then there we go. Wow.
Hooray!
Does this mean that Lo Hakish Toothus is tabby?
Oh, how delightful. At the very least, tab is nice.
All right. We made it. It wasn't a stream without incident. It wasn't a stream where I always presented myself in my best light.
Why was the light on the wrong side of you? Did you show your bad side? Did you turn the wrong way?
Oh, I did too much. And it wasn't a stream where I necessarily made more friends than enemies. But
You're saying you're not the Bob Ross of conlanging?
At least we did a full stream on the 24th day of the 7th month, and that stream was numbered 724, even though it wasn't our 724th stream.
That price will come on another day.
Yeah.
All right. Off we go. You all enjoy. Stay grammar. We'll see you around.
Did Jake ever fill in on the Her Majesty's Theatre?
It looks like there's a couple in Australia. The one in London is now His Majesty's Theatre.
But there's only one? Like, there's only one ever?
I don't know.
And Jake performed it as dance captain?
I don't know.
That's what I want to find out. Before we stay grammar, I want to know. I'm never gonna know, am I? No, I'm just getting state grammar to infinity and beyond.
Jake is out already.
Jake is done. All right. Bye, everybody. We heart. you.
There's only one in the UK that
Wow.
Jake thinks.
See, now that is indeed, that makes it special. That is indeed an achievement. So awesome. Love to hear it. Thank you to Dance Captain Jake. We will, waiting till the 11th hour. We will not see you next week. We will not be here next Thursday.
Right.
Due to weird circumstances, which we may tell you about the Thursday after that. So I'm very sorry,
Yeah.
but we will see you in August.
Well, and for patrons, we'll see them on Saturday. Yeah.
Saturday the 26th.
Yeah.
Oh, this Saturday. This Saturday. Oh,
That's in 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah. So we'll see patrons.
All right.
So, all right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.